Hey everyone, welcome back to Liceo Math Club tutorials. This is Greg talking and this is my partner Rolf, and we will be teaching you on how to simplify trigonometric expressions. Before anything else, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, make sure to hit up the subscribe button and click the notification bell so you won't miss any of the upcoming tutorial videos. Today's topic will be simplifying trigonometric expressions. If you weren't able to check our previous video about trigonometric identities, make sure to watch it first before watching this video. Now that you are more familiar with trigonometric identities, we can use them to simplify expressions. Remember that you can use any of the following identities. So let's simplify the following expression, secant over secant minus 1. When simplifying trigonometric expressions, one approach is to change everything into sine or cosine. So first, we can change secant to cosine using the reciprocal identity. As you can see, secant is equals to 1 over cosine. So the secant in our given expression will be replaced by 1 over cosine, and it will look like this. 1 over cosine over 1 over cosine minus 1. Now, we have to combine the denominator into one fraction by multiplying 1 by cosine over cosine. After we multiply it, we will get 1 over cosine over 1 over cosine minus cosine over cosine. But we still have to simplify it further, so it will become like this. 1 over cosine over 1 minus cosine over cosine. So now, let's change the problem into a division problem. So we will get 1 over cosine divided by 1 minus cosine over cosine. But we have to get its reciprocal, so it will become 1 over cosine multiplied by cosine over 1 minus cosine. So after getting the reciprocals, we will see if anything cancels. So there you go. We will cancel cosine from both sides. And there you go. 1 over 1 minus cosine is the simplified answer. So next expression that we are going to simplify is sine raised to the power of 4 minus cosine raised to the power of 4 over sine squared minus cosine squared. So with this problem, we need to factor the numerator and denominator and see if anything cancels. So the rules of factoring a quadratic and the special quadratic formulas can be used in this scenario. Problem: we will only factor the numerator. So sine squared minus cosine squared parenthesis times sine squared plus cosine squared parenthesis is the factor of the numerator. So after that, let's see if anything cancels. So now that the both sine squared minus cosine squared parenthesis are now cancelled out, so the remaining sine squared plus cosine squared parenthesis will be our answer. But as you can see, our answer sine squared plus cosine squared is the same as the Pythagorean identity, which is the sine squared plus cosine squared is equals to 1. Therefore, our final answer will be 1. So let's have two more examples that will be discussed to you by my partner Rolf.
Let's simplify this trigonometric expression. Example number 1. Cosine theta plus cosine theta multiplied by tangent squared theta. So the first thing that we're going to do is to factor out the expression. So the factor of the expression is cosine theta. So cosine theta plus cosine theta multiplied by tangent squared theta is equals to cosine theta plus 1 multiplied by 1 plus tangent squared theta. So the next thing that we're gonna do is to use the Pythagorean identity. As you can see, 1 plus tangent squared theta has the same value as secant squared theta. So cosine theta multiplied by 1 plus tangent squared theta is equals to cosine theta multiplied by secant squared theta. So the next thing that we're going to do is to use the reciprocal identity. So secant squared theta has the same value as 1 over cosine squared theta. So cosine theta multiplied by secant squared theta is equals to cosine theta multiplied by 1 over cosine squared theta. So the next thing that we're going to do is to cancel out the cosine theta. So the answer is 1 over cosine. So 1 over cosine theta is not the final answer. It's not the simplest form of this expression. So we're going to use the reciprocal identity again. So 1 over cosine theta is equals to secant theta. Example number 2. Cosine multiplied by pi over 2 minus x times cotangent x. So in this expression, we're going to use the cotangent identity and the cofunction identity. So the first thing that we're going to do is to use the cofunction identity and the cotangent identity. So cosine multiplied by pi over 2 minus x has the same value as sine x, and the cotangent x has the same value as cosine x over sine x. So cosine x multiplied by pi over 2 minus x times cotangent x is equals to sine x multiplied by cosine x over sine x. So then the next step we're going to do is to cancel out the sine x. So cosine x is the one that's left. So cosine x, this is the simplest form of this expression.
So that is all for today's video, and I hope you guys learned something from us. So once again, this is Greg and this is my partner Alf. Thank you for watching and don't forget to subscribe. See ya!